Welcome to That They'll Podcast. I'm your host, Danielle McPherson.
And I'm your host, Lilly Carr.
Our episodes are brought to you by Rose Hill Library, and today's guest is Shailey Holland. Before you ever join us, make sure you follow Rock Productions on Instagram and Facebook. If you miss any episodes, you can find the Rock Productions Network anywhere you listen to podcasts. So, Shailey, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing great. How about you, Lilly?
Good.
Okay, so we're going to start off with how long have you lived in Rose Hill and gone to Rose Hill schools?
I've lived in Rose Hill all my life, so about 18 years, and I've been going to school since kindergarten, so 13.
Do you know how long your mom's worked in the schools, though?
Like 9, 8 years?
Okay.
Yeah, a long time.
So, like, you guys are like a close, because you guys live inside Rose Hill, too, right?
Yes.
Okay, so you're also like a Rose Hill family.
Yeah, I guess.
I
My
was gonna
family's
say,
like
yeah.
not from originally from Rose Hill, but yeah.
Okay, got it.
What all have you been involved with in the high school?
I've been involved with band, National Honor Society, Technology Student Association, and Color Guard, but I quit Color Guard last year.
Okay, so are you still in all those other clubs?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. And why did you decide to join, like, those clubs?
Mostly just friends wanted me
Yeah.
to join.
Yeah. And did you like the teachers, or, like, did you know kind of what you were getting yourself into when you first started it?
Yeah, the teachers were great. And yeah, because my friends, like I said, I joined because they were talking to me about it and they were asking me to join. So they obviously gave me a rundown of what the clubs were like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was going to say, we do have a lot of, like, good kind of stuff, because obviously Rose Hill isn't all focused on sport. Like, we have great, like, what's it called, theater departments. And
I think that there's also a good variety of clubs, especially
Yeah.
given the school size.
Yeah, exactly.
Why did you leave or stay in the clubs?
I left, my interest changed,
Yeah.
you know, as you grow as a person. And I stayed in the other clubs also because of friends. I think that they're also just a good community of people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And do you think that those kind of clubs, or like what you're doing right now with your interests and activities, that's going to like carry on into you as an adult, or like what you want to do in the future?
I could definitely see it carrying on as an adult. I don't think I'm going to do band in college,
Yeah.
but I think that there's certain skills that you learn in all of your clubs that do carry on to the future, no matter what the club is. Like, in Technology Student Association, I did debate, and I want to be a lawyer, so
Yeah.
that will
Plays a
obviously
big
help with
part.
that.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think it also just teaches leadership as well as just a good work ethic.
Yeah. And I agree with what you said about like all these clubs kind of having like underlying characteristics about
Yeah.
like different skills and stuff that you can learn. Because like I've been involved in a lot of stuff. I know Lily has
Yeah.
too, but like I've definitely switched things around kind of like you have, and like found what we wanted, I guess, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think it's a good way to learn what you're interested in as well as what you maybe don't particularly care for.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you know, like, when you were in middle school or that kind of stuff, like, when did those things start interesting you?
Well, I've done band since 5th grade,
Yeah.
and I just did that because my brother did it. But the others, I didn't really learn about them until high school, just
Yeah.
because, I mean, in middle school, they don't really tell you a lot about high school clubs,
Yeah.
especially the things that I do. So I think that I learned about those about freshman year, really.
Yeah.
Do you think it would be different? Because I know that we have the little, like, fair, whatever, with all of the clubs for middle schoolers coming up, but do you think it would be different, like, clubs would have more people if they would have talked to 8th graders more about it? Because, like, I didn't know about half the clubs that we have
Yeah.
until freshman year, and then you hear people talking about it.
Yeah, I think that I could see that happening just because not everyone goes to the club fair, especially if they already think that they know what they're going to do. So
Yeah.
if I'm like, oh, well, I know that I'm going to do band or football or something, so like, why bother going?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Whereas if it was maybe brought into the middle school just on a random day, and then all middle schoolers were able to go around it,
Yeah.
I think that it could be
Yeah. No, I agree.
more beneficial.
Mm-hmm. We'll be right back with Shailey Holland after this commercial.
The Rose Hill Library started out as a community library at the school. Their hours are 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. Monday through Thursday and 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. on Saturday, and they're closed on Fridays and Sundays. They have nearly 10,000 items to check out, and all you need is a library card. They also have a story time on Mondays at 10 a.m., and during the summer they host summer reading programs. The library can also fax and scan documents to a flash drive and make copies for you. You can contact them at 316-776-3013.
Barron Concrete has been working locally and commercially in the Roseville area since 1980. They've been a part of major projects in the Roseville and Wichita area that have helped shape the community we know of today. If you have any questions, please contact them. They are open Monday through Friday. You can reach them on their website at barronconcrete.com or 316-618-6087.
McCullough's excavation was established in 1985 by Jess McCullough as president. They started installing sewer service and septic construction for residents. Over the years, their company has grown into commercial and industrial and municipal site utility constructions. Their business hours are 7:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. and contact number is 316-634-2199.
We're back with Shailey on the At the Hill podcast. So you said that you did NHS and you're the president, right?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So what is NHS?
NHS stands for National Honor Society, and it has 4 pillars. They are scholarship, service, leadership, and character. So scholarship, it obviously looks for people with good grades and a good academic drive. Service is people who serve their community in some type of way or something other than what benefits them. Leadership would be how involved are you in the things that you do, and character, obviously, it looks through your school record about detentions and whatnot.
Yeah. And is your mom like the head of that, or
Well,
like what is her part in it?
it's a national thing, so she's the school sponsor for it.
Yeah.
So did you know about, because I only learned about NHS when I got the letter last year, like
Yeah,
asking me
same.
to be a part of it. So like, did you know about it beforehand and like figured that you would want to join that club before?
I did, but my mom is the school sponsor, so I
Yeah.
heard about it just from her doing it, but I can't say that it was brought up a lot any other time. So if she wasn't my mother, I don't think I would have known anything about it either.
Yeah.
How long have you been in NHS, and how long have you been the president?
I've been in NHS since the spring semester, my sophomore year, I believe. So about 2.5 years, and I've been the president just this year because you can only be president as a senior.
Yeah. How did you become the president? Like, what do you have to kind of do?
Well, you have to be in it, and then if somebody else is going out for office, then you too have to write essays, and then they're given to teachers other than the sponsor, because also how you get into NHS is that you have to apply, but then that's given to, there's just a bunch of different teachers that all have to review it. So then those I don't know who they are, no, that is kept anonymous for the students, but the essays are then given to those people.
Okay, yeah. And so you kind of mentioned it, but like, how could a student join NHS, like if they were interested?
Well, you have to keep a GPA of 3.5 and above all throughout high school. And then in sophomore year, they can be given a letter inviting them to apply for it, and then they send in their application, which usually has their GPA, what clubs they do, if they have a leadership position in those clubs, awards, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And then it's given to that group of teachers to then look over and decide who gets in.
Okay, perfect.
What would you tell incoming freshmen wanting to join?
NHS or just clubs in general?
Both, honestly, yeah.
Okay, well, NHS, I would definitely say to be involved in other clubs if you're looking to join, and to do community service outside of those clubs, and keep up a 3.5 GPA or above. And then I think just with any clubs, I would definitely say just go for it if you think it might interest you even the slightest bit, because if it ends up not being something that you want to continue doing after like 3 meetings, there's not really a big obligation to stay in after being in it for so short of time. And I think that you're more likely to regret something that you didn't do than something that you did do.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for coming in and talking to us
Thank
today.
you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. And thank you for watching the At the Hill podcast. If you missed any episodes, you can find them wherever you listen to podcasts. Make sure you follow Rocket Productions on Instagram and Facebook. I'm your host, Danielle McPherson.
And I'm your host, Lilly Carr.